was a few complaints about this format. One of the biggest ones being a one-day finals feels a little bit cheesy. Like if you get bad zone RNG or a bit of bad luck, it just doesn't feel as skillful as our usual 2-day 12-game format. So Fortnite came up with a compromise. Instead of only being 6 games, it is now going to be an 8-game one-day format. Now, that is going to be a lot of Fortnite. I do feel like with games only being 22 minutes long now, Fortnite definitely could get through those 8 games relatively quick. Because it's a LAN event though, there's usually going to be an issue that causes a delay. Then they have to do, or they normally want to do interviews in between the games. There needs to be a break between game 4 and 5 because the players need to get off the stage to eat, go to the bathroom. It's not like they're playing from the comfort of their own home. So this will be a quite long LAN event, but I'm not super mad about it. Fortnite heard the feedback and added the extra 2 games, which I love. They've also added $300,000 in prize pool. So instead of being a $1 million event, it's now a $1.3 million event. They also added prize money to this second chance qualifier in the finals. It's not a lot of prize money. I don't really think it's going to do much, honestly. I think they need to probably add a little bit more if they wanted to stop teams griefing, because if you're outside of getting top 10, you can't qualify for the LAN. You don't really have too much to lose. You're not really going to play that much more seriously for like an extra 50 bucks on some of the regions. But hey, something's better than nothing. But for the most part, I think Fortnite's done a really good job with this format. Now, there are some people criticizing the format, like Reese Hub saying, you know, the top 25 each day is kind of boring, and it does feel a little bit boring, but at the same time, it's a LAN event. It's more content at the LAN. You get to see the players more. Hopefully, they do a really good job of the production. We get more interviews, things like that. So I'll never complain about more LAN content. Now we get an extra whole day of games, and it will be kind of cool to see how with all those extra players there, things shake up for the small region teams. Because now it means the finals is unbelievably more stacked. Because instead of it being where it is currently now, where it's like, oh, why are there so many OCE or Asia teams? They don't deserve to be there. Well, now if they go and they qualify to finals, they do deserve to be there. They're beating EU and NA teams and proving that even though they're from a small region, they can still hang. So the finals will be unbelievably stacked. And yes, one-day finals is slightly less skillful than a usual 2-day 12-game format, but it is extremely exciting to watch. There is also the factor of a lot of pros actually prefer this. There's quite a few pros I've talked to because they actually don't like the fact that pros go and hit the VODs after day 2 and they can figure out what people are doing, kind of like coming into it where you come into it, the strategy, if your strategy works, people can't counter it and you get to win the tournament compared to people having a chance to figure out what you're doing and then counter it. So it really just comes down to personal preference, but overall, I'm pretty happy with this, and I think it's pretty cool Fortnite did this to kind of make up for what they admitted was their mistake, and also gives a chance for a lot of big teams that did miss out to qualify. You know, Mongrel missed out, Mr. Savage, Tayson, Queasy. We had so many big teams not make it, and now they get a second chance. Now, unfortunately, their announcement timing was a little bit rough. They decided to announce this after EU grants had completely finished. So teams like Teeny and Shark, who pretty much sacrificed their top 3 finish to play extra aggressive to make sure Huddy and Fishy didn't make LAN, so they wouldn't contest them a wonky LAN. They then did this, and then an hour after they finished, Fortnite then announced there's now a new way for Huddy and Fishy to make it to LAN, which they didn't end up making it, which is good for Shark and Teeny, but Fortnite definitely needed to try to announce this a little bit earlier. But hey, it looks like they were a little bit rushed. It looks like this all came together last minute, so I'm still happy with what they came up with.